Welcome back, nerds. Fino here with a guide for Wandjina World Tour, our next event. You only need to complete Fuyuki to play, and it's pretty straightforward. Really, it's just a story and free quest event, no special mechanics. But it does have a special prize. The method to walk on the stars is the event damage CE, which you can get through the shop. Not only does this help middling players test their luck against some of the more challenging fights here, but it also has some use even after Wandjina World Tour wraps up. It gives starting charge and up to 25% bonus damage against enemies that are cursed. Nice to have for someone like Taisui in boss plus trash style fights, especially if you have to play grab ass until the boss becomes vulnerable. That said, I will warn you that the effect magnitude is a fair bit lower than something like Honey Lake, which gives upwards of 40% against burned enemies, though that one's a gotcha CE, and a limited one to boot. For general team building throughout this event, consider Creamhild and Avenger Erisei if you have them, since they benefit from a nice bond and damage bonus. Taisui gets it too. Now let's talk about the 90++ node. This one's a 1-1-1 arrangement where you fight two berserkers, a giant and a hydra, and then the pretender class of Hephaestion in the final wave. While obviously a fight meant to let Wandjina friends enjoy their new prize, you can run other attackers like Creamhild or perhaps a single target foreigner. It's even easier if you equip them with the method to walk on the stars. And while I dislike setups that need card RNG, the more stubborn among you could even just Van Gogh your way to victory. For my part, I used Kukulkan, who's an AoE servant, but I rolled 5 copies of her and I'm gonna get my money's worth, goddammit. While yes, I did benefit from her anti-earth damage in this fight, it's really more of a test of your ability to funnel charge onto your main attacker. Because it's a 1-1-1 encounter, it's effectively a single core, single target check. So get your attacker of choice and have at it. Ideally, you'd be running a berserker like Zergtoria or Creamhild, or a foreigner like Mysterious Heroine XX or Yang Guifei. But as you can see from my footage, you have some wiggle room. Now let's talk about the challenge quest. It requires Solomon completion, so if you're new, better get cracking. It's a 6-enemy encounter with Creamhild, Voyager, and Taisui taking the first shift. You'll notice that several of these servants have injury and death effects. Taisui steals your arts cards for 2 turns and curses you. Voyager gives himself crit chance, and Creamhild brings the spice. She has an attack buff that scales off the number of her dead teammates, and defense that scales off the number of living teammates. So the idea is that unless you're packing some serious heat, you have to deal with Creamhild's presence on the field while mitigating her late-game onslaught. Remember that she preemptively purges defensive buffs on her Noble Phantasm, so Taunters, Charge Drains, and Purge Resistance buffs are your friend if you have to do it slowly. While a Van Gogh stunlock would be nice on paper, you may have some difficulty with that on account of the other mechanics. Or you could just be like me and Kukulkan your way to victory. Fuck your mechanics, friend. I have landed the Lustrous at home. On death, Voyager gives his team a huge crit chance buff, while your side gets a paltry stardump. When Taisui bites it, he gives the surviving enemies a reactive curse when you hit them. Your team gets health regen. On break, Creamhild cleanses off any debuffs, gives herself debuff immunity, and taunts herself. Next up are Munenori, who also has a break bar, and Santa Altera. Munenori gets a full NP on entry. On break, he gets it again while also popping an evade. Altera gives her party defense and crit damage. On death, she gives accelerated charge, damage reduction, and 1 stack of NP damage. Your side gets cooldown reduction. The last enemy to enter the fray is Summer Erisei. She gets buffed against cursed enemies, damage, defense, and sure hit. On death, she stuns your frontline and drains up to 50% charge while giving your own party full charge. Supposedly, if you have your own Erisei, Kotamine, or Karen, they can have a special interaction with this mechanic, but I didn't use them so I wouldn't know if it's true or not. They're also not the servants that I'd pick for this fight, so I guess it's a bit of a moot point. For general strategy, you should brute force this with an AoE if at all possible. Either don't use an art servant, or if you do, bring a turn 1 cleanse to get rid of Taisui's present. You also want some form of sure hit or invuln pierce to deal with Munenori's evasion, a service Kukulkan provides by the way, and some form of protection to stop him from killing your main attacker. Again, Kukulkan has this. You know what, why don't you just borrow a Kukulkan for this? Seems like it'd save you some headaches. It's not nearly as tricked out as my Grand Kuku on JP, but I've got a pretty strong copy, so I'll toss her up once the event starts. Even if you think your damage is lacking, you should use an AoE and buff them up if at all possible. Even someone like Nocnaria should be a sufficient platform for your buffs, assuming you got her from Servant Summer Festival too. Just level her skills and remember to grab the event damage CE. Regardless of how you get there, you want to end this encounter by taking out all the remaining enemies along with Erisei, so no one can benefit from the massive swing her death buff provides. Wandjina World Tour is a pretty simple event, so just do your free quests on the regular and you won't have any shit your pants moments. I stream every weekend at twitch.tv/Finotaisen. Got some Repassion Lip on tap for this Sunday, but if you were absent for any of my past misadventures, I put up most VODs over on the Stream VOD channel, which I'll link down below. Funny enough, I actually did Passion Lips chapter in Fate Extra CCC just last week. Really the only thing that'll be missing from those VODs is the stream music, which I keep on a separate track so YouTube won't give me grief. But yeah, I've had some real gems as of late, so take a look. My back catalog is quite voluminous. Like an astronaut helmet full of clam chowder.